So I'm making this video for all my fellow Mexican Americans who are looking for the right information to get their dual citizenship and Mexican passport. This is for foreign-born people, meaning if your parents were born in Mexico and traveled to the US and had you, then you are eligible and able to get your Mexican citizenship through them. I went online and all the YouTube videos were either old or all over the place, so I'm making this video because I was a bit confused when I went through the entire process myself. So for the outline of this video, I'm going to be talking about 1, all the important documents you need, 2, how to schedule your appointment with the Mexican consulate, 3, getting your dual citizenship and Mexican passport on the same day, and 4, the pros and cons of being a dual citizen. So make sure to take notes as it's a lot of important information, and stay till the end of this video. Now, just so you know, you have to get your Mexican birth certificate first, which automatically gives you your dual citizenship in order to get your Mexican passport. You can't skip the process. Also, I personally did it in the state of Florida, but the overall process should be relatively the same. Now, here are the documents that you and your parents are going to need when you go to the appointment in person. So pay close attention. For number 1, you are going to need both your long and short form version of your birth certificate. One of them should have the timestamp from when you were born. Number 2 is your US passport and or driver's license. Number 3 is the application that looks something like this. I will leave a link in the description below, that way you can go ahead and download it and make it much easier for you guys. And it is going to be the Spanish version. The English version you can easily search up on their website for you no sabo kids, and it'll be pretty easy to fill out. It'll be the registrant, the person applying for the dual citizenship, your parents, your grandparents, and then the 2 witnesses. You can put 2 people, it can be whoever you want, that can be used as witnesses. In all reality, I just put my older sister and my girlfriend, but when you go in person to the appointment, the 2 guys there will be acting as your witness, so you don't have to bring people in person. And number 5 is both your parents' Mexican passports and driver's license. Now, there are 3 scenarios that may happen. If both of your parents are alive, then they have to be present when you are there getting your Mexican birth certificate, and they most likely have to bring their marriage certificate as well if they were married before you were born. Scenario 2 is if one of your parents, let's say your father passed away, right, he's deceased, then your mother would have to be present and you would have to bring a death certificate. Scenario 3, which is what happened with me, is what if you have one parent in the US and the other one in Mexico and he can't physically be present? Well, because I was born in the US and my parents also never got married before I was born, I had to get my father to go get a power of attorney from the Mexican government. So my father had to make an appointment with the notary to get a document saying that he gives authorization for his last name to be on my birth certificate, and then he will have to mail the original document to you in the US because you need the original ones when you go to your appointment. Now, once you have all your documents, you're going to search up your local Mexican consulate and call them. Their hours range anywhere from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. I had to call in 3 separate times because no one answered, and I used the email that I found on their website to go ahead and send them one, letting them know that I wanted my dual citizenship, and then they finally got back to me. Now, there are 2 ways to do your appointment. They want to make sure you have all your documents ready before they schedule it, and once you have all your ducks in a row, you can either go in person to the official Mexican consulate building, or you can go to the mobile consulate. Here in the state of Florida, the official building is in Miami, which is about 2 hours away from where I live, but they have specific times and dates when they will be in certain towns or cities. For instance, November 4th through the 5th, they'll be in Orlando. January 7th through the 8th, they'll be in Fort Myers. You can easily find this information on their website during the mobile consulate times and dates. Now, because I didn't have my documents before the mobile consulate was in my area, I had to drive in person to my appointment at 9:30 in the morning. Once I got there, it was super easy. I sat down for 4 minutes. They called my name. I went there with my mom, and they reviewed the documents that I had brought. Key note, bring all the original documents for them to take copies. Your original birth certificate and so on. We double checked all the information was correct. We made some signatures, and then they took my fingerprints. After all that was done, I was back in the waiting room and I got my Mexican birth certificate in less than an hour. I was officially a Mexican citizen. Now, in the same building, I went back to the lobby and then I got in line to get my Mexican passport. I stood at the desk, I showed them my new Mexican birth certificate and my driver's license and chose one of these options. You can get the passport for 3, 6, or 10 years at these prices. I personally chose the 6 years one. They gave me my ticket and I waited until they called me up. From there, they take your information, your fingerprints, your passport photo, and signatures, and they start to make it. I waited around 30 to 40 minutes until they finished it. I paid with my credit card and I had my Mexican passport. I personally didn't go to the mobile consulate one because I missed it, so I don't know if they'll do it the same day for you. So please make sure to call and ask, otherwise you're gonna have to make multiple appointments. Now, that's all the info you're going to need. I'm quickly gonna go into the pros and cons of being a dual citizen. Some pros are when you travel, you get to come in as a Mexican and then leave back into the US as an American, which makes it a whole lot easier. When buying property over there, you won't get taxed as an American. Now, I don't really know if there are cons, but you might have seen or heard about being double taxed since you're citizens of both countries. That's only true if you're generating income in Mexico, then you would pay taxes there, and then vice versa. If you're making money and you're you're working your job here in the US. Now, I don't know how it works. For instance, if you have a business in Mexico and then you're bringing it into the US, I haven't been through that yet, so I would highly advise to go speak to those people that can help you in that area. And that'll pretty much be it. So hopefully this video helps you guys understand the process a lot better. Consider subscribing, because in the future, I'm going to be making more videos about investing in areas like Tulum and Cancun, which is rapidly expanding. Tulum is building a brand new airport. There's the Mayan train, and there was an estimated amount of over 27 million people who traveled in and out of Cancun last year, which is only increasing. I went earlier this year in 2023 and got to do tons of activities because my dad already knew everything that there was to do. I got to be able to swim with whale sharks, go cave swimming, go to their famous parks, ride horses, and honestly, I didn't have to worry about a single thing. He planned out the entire trip. I told him I was here from Saturday to Saturday. I want to do this day, that day, and he just planned it out, and I paid. And honestly, it was just a huge help for me because I didn't have to worry about renting everything and figuring out all this information. So I could actually go on vacation and enjoy myself with all these fun activities. So if you guys want a detailed video on everything that I did and all the other activities to do in Cancun, like the famous parks or seeing the bioluminescent plankton, which I also got to do, then let me know in the comments and I will definitely make a video about that. And once again, thanks for watching.